na barekerie mutindwa Juma tariki 11 mweri Jojo ne Kariene Ngobo Modhara Kangeta Lare maili 3 na barekerie Maoa. Jumamosi tariki 12 ne Adhi ne Kindori Kianjae Kimao na barekerie Nanyuke. Momero Shumerie twejamwe kureto garoro kudene ya Kenya.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenyans are angered by the cancellation of Fred Matiang'i's Mount Kenya tour, specifically in the parts of Meru and Isiolo, which was scheduled to start today, Thursday, until 12th.
So we need Kenya to be looked carefully, because the way we are sliding into a very dangerous situation where a government turns against its own citizens. You have a government which you have elected turning against you, turning against your businesses, killing you, abducting you, merely because you have chosen to exercise your rights as citizens. So that's why we have said we are postponing those meetings for now, because we don't want to give them an excuse to infiltrate our meetings and cause mayhem when people are already suffering. Analyzed and debate about this matter. Clearly, there are elements within government that are directly involved in the violence, either direct involvement or acquiescing to what is happening. People are organized, goons are organized, they are there, police are there and doing nothing. What does that mean? There was no police presence anywhere here, even when people, even all the way to Nairobi through social media, know there is a supermarket burning. There's nobody there. Police didn't do anything. So the goons that went to attack Meru Central, Mount Kenya milk plant that is owned by farmers from this region. There was some big gang organized to go and burn the place so that people can, the population can be, those who do dairy can be turned against the opposition.
The reason why Kenyans are angered, you know very well that Kenyans had anticipated a very intense political campaign on Fred Matiang'i's side to challenge William Ruto on the ballot come 2027. And that is why Kenyans were so agitating for Fred Matiang'i's homecoming, which he actually did. But since then, he has not appeared very much on most of the political rallies. But on last week, he featured largely in the tour of Western Kenya, alongside Rigathi Gachagua, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, George Natembeya, Mukisa Kitui, among other leaders who accompanied them on the tour of Western Kenya. But everything was all right until today, when Kenyans received a very disappointing information that that anticipated rally has been cancelled. You know, during their Western Kenya tour, despite the hiccups that they met in Chwele, in Bungoma County, the other parts of Western Kenya counties received them with two hands, and everything was so successful in terms of meeting the people tour to sell their agenda. Now, it was a turn for Fred Matiang'i to lead the United Opposition tour of East Mount Kenya. He was to be hosted by former Meru governor and former CS for Agriculture, Peter Munya. But that is not the end of the game. The reason why this tour has been cancelled, according to Peter Munya, is that they had some intelligent information that there were some crooks who are planning to infiltrate their campaign and to cause mayhem, and this would have given them a bad name specifically at a time when this country is still going some traumas and hard times in terms of security. So they don't want to be painted with some security issues. So they decided to postpone this tour. And Kenyans were not kind enough to these leaders. And most of them, as I have read comments about this cancellation, they are seeing Fred Matiang'i as a coward, a man who cannot run the show without the other principles. And in reference, they were referring to Gachagua. You all know that Gachagua currently is in the United States of America to mobilize and also to seek for resources for funding for 2027 presidential campaign. And if it is true that Gachagua is going to seek for funds, then chances have it that he might run for the office. He might run because there's nothing barring him. Even the case of impeachment is still pending in court, and therefore he still have a chance to run until the judgment is made on that case. He can still run. So maybe that is the reason why he went to the United States. And what if he decides to run? Can Matiang'i deputize him? That is a story for another day. Let's be back on what you are talking about. So guys, people have started to doubt Matiang'i's competency. People have started to doubt Matiang'i's courage. People are doubting Matiang'i's seriousness about the office on the hill. Because if this is the first rally, people anticipated for him to tour parts of this country and to lead a campaign outside the Ugusi land. The only rally which Matiang'i has led by himself, and in fact that was not even a rally, it was a homecoming which happened in Kisii. That one, and after that there is no any other. So we had expected that this one would be one of its kind, to at least test the ground, to experience what is the presidential campaign is all about, so that we prepare. The ground was prepared for Matiang'i. Kenya a social, how do we call it? This party here. Yeah, Kenya Social Congress Party, Meru branch, had also shown their excitement to receive Fred Matiang'i the moment he landed in Meru, to take him through Meru and to talk to the people of Kenya. You know, Matiang'i is one of the candidate or the principals in the united opposition who are seen to have what it takes to challenge a President William Ruto on the ballot come 2027. And these early cancellations of campaigns in the fear of being sabotaged or heckled or any other kind of organized goonism can reduce his popularity among Kenyans, more so to regions such as Mount Kenya, which already have sons and daughters who are also eyeing this seat. Nobody should lie to you that Mount Kenya cannot have a candidate. We've seen before, even when they have a front runner, they still have some other candidates. They have done it before. They can, let's take for example, during the 2002, do you know that the two front runners were Kikuyus? President Kibaki, who won the election, was a Kikuyu from Nyeri. And Uhuru Kenyatta was the runners-up. KANU candidate was also a Kikuyu from Kiambu. And all of them had the potential to win the election. But the Kenyans decided to rally between the two, and eventually Kibaki won. So nobody should lie to Matiang'i that the presidential seat will be given to him in a silver platter. It is never going to be easy. Mount Kenya can still have a candidate, even if the majority of them are suggesting that they support other candidates. And the person who right now stand a very good chance to be supported by Mount Kenya is none other than Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And Matiang'i's name is featuring largely in Kenyans' heart and mind to be a candidate who is a force to reckon for 2027. What we need is a backup. What we need is a support. And to Fred Matiang'i, this thing is not going to be easy, even amongst you there in the opposition. You know, Kalonzo have no time left. This could be his last chance. Or if he tries maybe 2032, but I think this is the best time for him to try it. Trying it, knowing very well that the current president is having hard time with Kenyans. His popularity is going down day by day. So it is good time for Kalonzo to try it. But look at Gachagua also. Gachagua also stand a chance because he is the only person who has shown the courage and the bravery to push William Ruto to corner. He has the numbers. He has the potential. So to Matiang'i, it's still going to be a hard nut to crack for him to be given the ticket for the opposition, United Opposition Alliance. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, and may God bless you.